Okay, Assalamualaikum and good morning again to all of you. Thank you for being here this morning. So today we are going to actually start on the Tableau. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate today on how to use Tableau. Hopefully you have been able to actually download Tableau from the tableau.com. Okay, and if you happen to have any issues with regard to the installation of Tableau, please let me know, because the final part of your assignment you need to actually demonstrate, okay, your ability to work with Tableau. Okay, so in your textbook or the book that come along with your text, okay, so you have that on how to get the Tableau application, and then we can actually just proceed from there by just opening Tableau. So allow me to share the window of Tableau for your viewing. Okay, please let me know if you can see the window.
Boleh tak?
All right. So guys, the moment you open Tableau, so this is the main interface of Tableau, right? So now I'm going to actually demonstrate a few basic function of Tableau first. But before that, let us understand the layout of Tableau itself. So the main interface, you have three sections, okay, divided into three sections. You have the connect command. Okay, so this is the section where you can actually, download your data, maybe attach your data to the Tableau worksheet. Okay, and then we have the open command. So this is where you can open the workbook, okay, to work on any charts or visualization that you need. And the last part will be the discover section. Okay, discover section is just to support you if you happen to have any problems while operating Tableau. Right, so those are the three main section on Tableau main interface. So let us go now into the demonstrations. Basically, Tableau are meant for visualization. Okay, so this application or this software actually helps you to visualize your data in a more what we call interesting manner. So you have all the options of charts, you have all the options of diagram that you want to actually use in order to portray, okay, your data set. Okay, so I'm going to actually bring along the data. So how you want to go about in downloading the data, so you can actually just use the connect command. Okay, here you can ask Tableau to search data in the Tableau server, or you can also refer to a file. So Tableau have this ability to understand a different uh, format or different types of file. So you can download data from in terms of in the format of Microsoft Excel, text file, JSON file, Microsoft Access, PDF file, spatial file, statistical file, and more. Meaning that Tableau should be able to actually download that data or bring that data into the picture. Okay, and then you can also connect Tableau to a server. For example, Microsoft SQL server, okay, MySQL, Oracle, Amazon, okay, that uh, possess all this data that you want to work with. All right, so those are basically the connect function. So for this demonstration, I'm not going to actually connect to the Tableau server or other server, but we are going to actually download a data. Okay, meaning that we are going to attach the existing data that we have in our custody, and then try to work with that particular data. Okay, and this data are actually the same with one that I already shared with you, like purchase order data, sales and store and regional sales. Okay, so but this time around we are going to work using the global superstore data. So how do you want to start? Okay, other than that, it's the same thing as like other software. Okay, operating on Windows, you have the file tab, you have the data tab, you have the server tab. Except that, okay, while it is in the idle mode, okay, none of this actually working until you have a data being placed into Tableau. Then all these tab will actually start to work like a normal tab. Okay, so now I'm going to actually download the data set of a global superstore data, and then we're going to work on how to actually use that data in order to visualize. So the file is in Microsoft Excel. So you go to File, Microsoft Excel. Okay, Tableau will take a few minutes, okay, depending on the ability or the memory of your laptop, desktop, or whatever. Okay, because it's a bit heavy in terms of the processor. So give Tableau a few minutes before you can bring the data into the picture. Okay, so I'm going to go about using the global superstore, but I'm not going to take this one. I'm going to actually select the one that is on the desktop. Okay, so this is the global superstore data. Okay, can you still can you still can have a look at what I'm doing right now?
Yes,
Boleh tu.
sir.
Okay, so now you just open. Okay, we select that file and then you just click open. And then Tableau will actually execute your query. And once the data is in place, Tableau will automatically convert its interface into a workbook. Okay, so we'll see. Like I mentioned to you just now, you need to give a few seconds or maybe 1 or 2 minutes for Tableau to actually download, okay, the whole set of data into its workbook. It's quite heavy actually because I've been working with data like every day. So my computer started to yeah, get heavy and heavier every day. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Once the data is ready, meaning the data have been uploaded to Tableau, automatically the interface, the main interface of Tableau will actually change, okay, to accommodate the availability of that data. So just now, if you can see the first interface when you open Tableau, you have that three different column. And now once the data have been uploaded, so you can see this workbook, okay? The workbook. Okay. If you look here, you have a few section. Okay, you have the sheet section. Okay, sheet section, and then you have the data section, and this is where the data is going to be displayed by Tableau. Okay, now I'm going to demonstrate the usage of the data. Okay, if you look here, okay, it is still empty because why? Because we have not actually select any part of the data that we link to Tableau. So on how to go about this, if you look at the menu and then, okay, once the data is in place, so the tab is already being activated by Tableau, meaning that you can just use like the normal tab. You can save as whatever, you can import workbook, and then the data, okay, started to actually work, the server tab and everything. Okay, now you have this. Okay, if you happen to have any issues with regards to the ability of Tableau to understand the type of data that you put in, so you just use data interpreter. Remember, if you happen to have any issues and you are afraid that Tableau might not be able to recognize whatever data that you have already chosen for your analysis or for your visualization, so just use interpreter. So that will actually enable, okay, Tableau to better interpret the set of data. So give it Tableau some time and then we're gonna start working. But if you feel that your data is good enough, meaning that there are no issues with the data, so you can just, opt not to actually use the data interpreter. Okay, because data interpreter will actually help to actually consolidate and clean the data for better understanding, for the software understanding. Okay, now if you look here, we have three set of data. We have orders, we have people, and we have returns. Okay, so you can use two options. You can double click, okay, whatever data that you want to be displayed, and you can also drop and drag and drop. Okay, so I'm going to show you, okay, the drag and drop. So we're going to look at the orders, okay, the global superstore orders. Okay, so I'm going to drag these orders main data and then place into the tables here. Okay. Okay, once the data has been dragged into the table, the workbook, so automatically Tableau will actually display the data based on the characteristic or attribute set in Microsoft Excel. So if you can see here, the data being displayed, okay? So you can actually work with the data. Okay, you can just sort the data if you want to sort it, and then you can also do other things. You can also manage metadata. Manage metadata means the data is so huge, okay, that you need to actually maybe cluster, or you need actually to segmentize your data. Okay, this is where you can preview your data source, meaning that you can look at the original data. Okay, so therefore the data is already in here. And if you look here, okay, if you click this one, this is currently the view of the data, meaning that the data is similar to what is in Microsoft Excel. Okay, like I mentioned just now, okay, once the data have been downloaded, it will be displayed, okay, in accordance to what have been displayed if you're opening your data using Microsoft Excel. And you can also use this other function, okay, if you want to show the details of the data. So this is the details of the data, meaning that what are the fields available, what are the attributes, okay. If you look here, okay, so this is the Excel view actually, but it is being displayed in this manner by Tableau. But if you want to know how many attributes in the data, okay, mana you nak tahu berapa variables di dalam data, and then you just click the manage metadata. So you can see these are the available attributes or variables, okay, that is in your data set. Okay, and then now we are going to go about working with the analysis. Okay, so once you have already installed the data, so the data, okay, can be used to for visualization. How to do that? Okay, if you look at the bottom of the screen, you can see that, okay, the data source tab. So this is the current view, the data source tab, and we also have this worksheet like Microsoft Excel. Okay, kalau you buka Microsoft Excel, you have all these folders. Okay, sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. And the only difference is that, okay, when you start to work with Tableau, only one worksheet will be open at one point of time. But if you need more worksheets, so you just click the plus, okay, plus new worksheet. Okay, you can also create a dashboard. So later on, I demonstrate to you on how to use a dashboard. And you also can also create a story, meaning that you want to explain the chart. Okay, that can also be done using Tableau. And the whole set of the dashboard or your story can actually be transferred to your report. Meaning that you don't have to actually, like Microsoft Excel, you have to print, you have to copy a chart and then you place in your report and then you have to write, you have to explain. Okay, meaning that in the Microsoft Word, but here you can visualize, okay, a chart, and then at the same time you can just report what is being uh, displayed by the chart instantly. So that one I'm going to demonstrate to you the use of dashboard and story. Okay, how to go and start working with Tableau. So once the data is there, so you just click the worksheet. Okay, you just click the worksheet here, right? So this is the worksheet for Tableau. Okay, just now this is the data source. Okay, and if we click the sheet, so this is where we will be working, meaning that all the charts that you intend to actually display, okay, or you want to actually create, will be displayed in this part of your Tableau, meaning that this is the area, the working area. So now we are going to see some of the demonstration. or the usage of Tableau through this simulation data. Okay, you can see here there are lots of functions. Okay, if you look on the top of your screen, okay, if you notice the tab here, okay, the tab here started to expand. So you have the file, data, the worksheet command, the dashboard, story, analysis, okay. But since we have not yet done any visualization, so therefore the dashboard, the story is not yet being activated by Tableau. Once we have all these charts or display done, so then this tab, a few tabs will come alive. In that you can actually work using this tab, just like you work with Microsoft Excel. Okay, now if you look here, there are other functions as well. Okay, so you have the forward and backward function, and then you have this save function. You have the new data source if you need new data, and then you also have this post auto updates. Okay, if you look at the data source, okay, you can see here, nampak tak sini? What is this? Can you see this?
Will it doctor?
What is this?
Life.
Live, meaning that we are now or we are currently working, okay, actively working on the visualization part. But if you want to just stop, you can just pause. Okay, meaning that there will be no auto update, meaning that Tableau will stop for a moment and will not update on any new data or whatever. Okay, and then we have this new worksheet if you need new worksheet, but this command is also available at the bottom of your screen. Okay, and then you want to actually duplicate a worksheet, meaning that you have one worksheet and then you want to duplicate in case you might actually need to actually alter the other one, so you can actually duplicate. And all these other functions will start to be activated once you have a chart or a visualizing mode. And then you also have this, okay, show and hide cards, and then presentation mode. So later on, I'll demonstrate to you on how to work with the presentation mode. Okay. Now, let us work on some of the visualization that is available. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go through the text. Okay, so this is available actually in your text. Okay, on how to work with this, like I mentioned to you, you can double click or you can just drag and drop. That is one good thing about Tableau. You don't have to worry about, double click or whatsoever, because it's just merely you can actually create a chart of visualization by just drag and drop the data set. Okay, so I'm going to work using the data now. So if you look here, you have your data here. Okay, these are the attributes. You have category, city, and so on, based on the data that you have linked to Tableau. And then you have the analytics here. Okay, but remember, like I mentioned just now, okay, if you have not yet created any visualization, so therefore these are not will not be active for a moment. Once you have some visualization or chart, so then this will come into action. Okay, as for now, look at the data. So these are the data set. And if you look here, there are actually indicator. Okay, there are indicators that actually explain the type of data. For example, if you look at category, okay, and then you can just click here, you can see uh, all the commands that you can use to actually, duplicate, rename, you want to convert measure, you want to change the data type, geographic role, and anything, okay, by just clicking on the small arrow. Okay, and then as I mentioned just now, these are the indicators, meaning that the type of data, if you look here, category is in a string. String are being represented by ABC, and then we have the city, okay, represented by the globe symbol. Okay, and then we have the date. All the dates are being indicated by the calendar. Okay, and then we have this hatch. Okay, the hatch symbol. The hatch symbol represents numbers. Okay, yang hash represent numbers. So you know there is a values. Okay, and then address, longitude, latitude are presented by the globe symbol. Okay, so looking at these indicators, you should be able to understand the nature or type of your data. Okay, so now let us work on the simple chart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually select first the country. Okay, how do you work with this? You just take, okay, you just click on that particular attributes or variables. Okay, for example, country, and then you just drag and drop. Okay, you can drop here, right? There's no issue. Okay, because automatically what happens is that Tableau will try to recognize the data. Okay, meaning that if you're talking about country, because it is in globe, so the value is here, the latitude and the longitude, right? Okay, so I'm going to remove this first because we are going to display a chart first. Okay, remove just a back button, undo. These are the same thing, it's a different symbol, so just an arrow forward and backward. Okay, so I'm going to place country, but in another way. Just now I drop here, I drop in this work area. Okay, but now I'm going to drop according to the axis, meaning that it's a row or column. So I'm going to drag country, I'm going to put it in the row. Okay, give some moment for Tableau to work with your data. Okay, if you notice here just now when I drag country and put into the working area, automatically Tableau will try to actually match the measurement. So Tableau acknowledge that countries are made of a longitude and latitude. So therefore, a chart of the whole world are being displayed. But if I put country into the row, so this assigned as a data set. So therefore, Tableau will actually create, okay, the new data set, the arrangement. Okay. But if you notice here, you have the country list. However, you don't have any values, meaning that it is almost impossible to actually create a chart. Uh, So I'm going to demonstrate again. Okay, so you can see here the difference. Okay, if I were to drag country and place into the working area here, okay, so automatically the world map is being displayed based on the countries, based on the countries. Uh, yeah, okay, but then, okay, if I remove this and instead of placing country into the working area, so I'm going to place country into the row. Okay, so these are two different commands. The first command uh, means that Tableau need to display, okay, any kind of visualization, meaning the appropriate visualization. But if I place country in a row, so that actually indicate that Tableau need to actually create the table, okay, the data set. Okay, so there's no value. So I'm going to put a value to this. So I'm going to look at sales. Okay, if you look here, we have sales here. Remember, the hashtag symbol, okay, actually represent numerical value, meaning that it is in numbers. Okay, so how do you want to display these numbers? Okay, so you can just place, okay, just drag and drop, put it in the ABC column. Okay, put it in the ABC column. And automatically Tableau will actually match the best possible chart, the best possible visualization for that type of data. So where is the table? The table is in this mode. So you can just change the mode. So you can see here you got the table, right? And then you can switch between all these different charts. See? Okay, another good thing about Tableau is Tableau will try its best to match whatever possible charts available based on the data. So if you look here, this is your data set, okay, the data set that I just created just now, okay. So once you place, okay, the data set and the value is available, so Tableau will start to actually navigate itself, okay, in coming up with options for you to choose the type of chart that you want, okay. So whatever but menu, okay, that is available here, meaning that you can actually create, you can actually create that particular types of visualization. So here you can have these bubbles, okay, and then okay, let me show you another interesting part of this before I'm going to proceed to another testing. Okay, so for example, you want to change the color, so you can just click on the change of color, right? So this will be a different color, or maybe you just want to change United States into one different color. You want to change into what? Red. Okay, and then this is the label. Okay, you can use command mark labels. Okay, maybe you want to see the minimum and maximum only. Okay, so you can do that. You can just modify. Okay, so let us go back to the original chart. Okay, so this is supposed to be the original chart, and this is the bar chart. And you want to actually display on the bar chart. Okay, remember your data is here, so you can always view whatever data that you place into your what we call visualizing punya command. All right, so another function that is available in the Tableau is that the change your measurement. So you can actually change the measurement. Okay, so this one is another menu as well, the T. This is a text entry. So you can just, change the color, change the size, change the detail or tooltip. And then another function is that you can actually change the measurement. Okay, the measurement. So here, if you see the marks, okay, you can see all these bar line and everything. Okay, these are the type of charts of visualization that is available for you. Okay, that you can work with. Okay, if you want to change the measurement, you just bring your cursor or your mouse, okay, on top of the sum here, okay, and then you just click the arrow, the downward arrow, right, the small arrow, you just click them, okay. Here you can actually, work on the measurement. You can change the measurement. Right? So for example, here, if you look here, these are the measures. So instead of sum, I want to look at the average. So you just change to average. So now you got an average. All right. And then if you feel that, oh, I just need to look at the sum again. So you can just shift to sum. Okay. So you can look in whatever possible measures. You can also look on the count. Okay, you can also look at the minimum, maximum percentile. Okay, and then standard deviation, variance, and everything. Meaning that as you go along working with your visualization or charts, you can also analyze the data set. Okay, let me show you. If you're talking about variance, so you just click here, variance. So these are the variance, okay, that has been computed automatically. The only difference is that you cannot see the formula because it is automatically computed by W. Okay, so let us go back. And so I'm going to choose average. So you have this average. Okay. Now we want to create a multiple measures. Kita nak buat multiple measures, meaning more than one set of data. So if you want to work with another set of data, what you can do is that, okay, you just choose, okay, what data that is necessary for you to display. So in this case, I'm going to select profit. If you don't understand this, later on I'll share the video with you and other ways that you can just refer to your book for those who have the Tableau books. Okay, for the what we call multiple measures, so I'm going to actually match. This is currently the sales, but based on the average. So I'm going to add another measurement that is profit. Okay, so if you want to actually create this another set, another column. So you just choose profit, okay, and then you just hold on, okay, you just drag it and then put it under sales, okay, just put it under sales. So you notice now, okay, if you notice, there is no actually data being displayed. So how you want to actually display the data? So you just take profit and then you just place where you want it to be. You can just place it here, okay, and then you go to your data set. Okay, can you see this?
Yes.
Okay, and then if you want to change the position, you can just drag. Okay, you can just drag. So you have the profit and the average sales. Okay, and same goes if you want to change it back to the original. You just drop and drag only. So that is something interesting about Tableau. Okay, now what happens when we once we have already look into the multiple measures and how to change the layout of your data, so you want to actually display. So if you notice here, okay, on the show me tab, okay, there are few charts being activated for you. Okay, there are few choices from based on the data that is available for you to visualize. Okay, if you notice here, okay, these are the assumption for the data set, meaning that if you want to display, okay, if you bring your mouse on top of the active on the active chart, okay, you can see, okay, for a pie chart, okay, Tableau will require one or more dimensions and one or two measures. And if you place your mouse on the horizontal bars, okay, Tableau does not need any dimension, but it needs one or more measures. If you place on the side-by-side bars, so you need one dimension and one measures. So you should not be worried because the charts or the visualization that is available, okay, is made available to you are based on the availability of the data. So automatically it will actually be auto generate by Tableau. So you don't have to worry. The only thing that you need to be concerned is the use of the what we call chart based on the requirement of dimension and measures. Okay, so for example, I want to go with a side by side bars. Okay, so I just click here, and then you will see this. Okay, the bar, and then okay, this is a different one. Okay, and then you want to go like this, so you have this type of charts. Okay, so basically you can almost display whatever that is made available. Okay, now let us go back to the data. Okay, so that is how you go about in looking at this, and then you can also correct your what we call measurement. If the measurement is wrong, okay, so you just correct. For example, customer name are supposed to be string, customer name are supposed to be date, customer name are supposed to be numbered. So you can just change the indicator based on the type of data. Okay, once that is okay, now I'm going to actually work on creating a bar chart. Okay, so let us see on how to work using the bar chart. So we're going to actually create a simple bar chart. Okay, you go to the show me tab and you just select a bar chart. Okay, so you can see here the different bar chart. Okay, if you notice here, whatever measurement that is being set here will be displayed in the but due to the different measurements, so you have two. You have the average sales and you have the profit. Okay. So now what I'm going to look at, okay, basically we are just going to look at one measurement. Okay, kita akan tengok average sales. Average sales. So you just remove, apa? Okay, so this chart might look a little bit worrying because you have a lots of countries, and then you have lots of customer names, and you can always filter that. Anytime you can just filter. Okay, so now we are going to actually go by sorting. Okay, sorting on the data. Okay, you can just, okay, if you look here on top of your toolbar, you can see this. Okay, sorted ascending by average of sales, sorted descending by average of sales. So I'm going to go with sorted descending. So you will have this. uh, Okay, now I'm going to remove the customer name because we are not going to use the customer name. Okay, so you will get this, and then you sort this, and then you have the chart based on the most average sales by country. Okay, most average sales by country. And then you can start to actually modify this. Okay, you can change the color if you want to change the color. Maybe you want to change into green. Okay, you can have this colored green. Okay, and then you can also change the size. Okay, if you want to reduce the size. Okay, and you want to be equally for better display, right? So you can just change the size. And maybe if you're talking about the label, maybe you want to show the mark labels, meaning that you have the numbers. Okay, you have the numbers, right? And then maybe you want to change the other details. You can also change the details. Okay, even color, you can also go with the different border. Okay, you want the border to be white in black color. Okay, so you have a border. Okay, and then you can work also on the details. Okay, here you just click details, and then you can just see. And then even if you want to actually have a different color for different countries, you can also do that. Okay, so here you can actually go with a different colors, multiple colors. All right, until at this point, are you able to understand?
Boleh doktor?
Okay. Like I mentioned just now, so these are the countries, but they are not being sorted according to alphabetical order. So you just go to country here, you can actually go with alphabetic. Okay, so automatic it will be arranged according to alphabetic, meaning that mengikut A, B, C until Z. Okay, so you have this. And you can always change it anytime that you want. Okay, you can go with the alphabetic. You can also go with the field in every sales. Okay, and then you can go with nested. You want to see what every sales. Okay, so those are the functions that is available. So this is the alphabetic from A to Z. Okay, and now, if you want to change the color based on country, so meaning that you want it to be displayed in a very what we call uh, distinguished fashion, meaning that every country will have different colors. So what happens is that you just take the country and put it into the color box. Okay, you just let us go back. Okay, so currently these are the same colors. Okay, so I'm going to sort this first so that you can have a better view of this. So you look here, there these are the average sales represent by different countries. Okay, so I'm going to actually have the countries being distinguished by the color code. So you just take the country on the tables menu, and then you just place into the color. Itu je. So you will have this. Okay, you have this. And then if you change it to alphabetic, so automatically Tableau will actually arrange according to the alphabetical order. Right. So those are ways on how you actually work, okay, in terms of color differentiation. Same goes with the other thing, especially on the maybe on the value itself. You just drag and then you just, for example, you want to change into some profit in terms of size. So you just place that. Okay, so you can see the difference here Okay, those with a higher profit, okay, are bigger in size compared to those smaller. Okay, so you can see the difference in size. Uh, so it's just like that. It's very simple. Drag and drop, drag and drop, drag and drop. Right? Okay. Let's work on another what we call a visualization. Maybe we're going to actually go with the world map. With the world map. So what is going to happen is that we're going to display based on the world map. Okay, so I'm going to actually go with sales. Okay, sales. So I'm going to place sales here. Right. So you can see the difference. Okay. So I'm going to go with country. Okay, the country. All right. Then I'm going to select the map. So you have this, and even you can also work using this one. So you have these all different maps being displayed. Okay, like I mentioned just now, if you want to change the color, you just drag the country and put into the color. So you will have different colors. So basically, that is how you work on the chart. Okay, again, the option lies on you. Okay, meaning that you should know what data you want to visualize, you want to, how many data, how many columns, and then how you want to go about working on this. And yeah, other than that, it's just another chart display. The only thing is that it is different compared to Microsoft Excel, because Excel you need to highlight all this table data every time you want to actually work on the chart. Okay, and then you can also change colors. If you want to change colors, you can change colors here. Okay, anything that you want to put a label, you can even put a label if you want it to be displayed. Okay, so you will have all these labels being displayed on the chart itself. And then maybe you want to focus on the regional, okay, regional area. So you can actually work on this particular part of your data. So you boleh tukar color dan sebagainya. Remember, if you want to change color, you just place, okay, you just drag any part of your data and put it into the color box. Okay, you want to change the size, you can also do that, okay, by just drag and drop into the marks. So you have all this. You can hide this as well, okay. So one is ready, so you just move them to uh, your dashboard. Okay, so I think I already show you what can be done by Tableau. So I need you to be very creative on working with Tableau. So I'm now going to show you. You can also, in terms of formatting, you can always format the color, label, size, still to, the same menu appear here. So you can actually work on this. Meaning that you want to look a font, you want to change the color, you want to put a label, or you can do that. Yeah? So these are labels. So you want to change the size, so you go to the size. Okay, so it will be displayed according to what you want. Meaning that yes, you go along working. So these are the things that you might get into. And then even if you want to look at city by colors, so you can also do that. Okay, uh, and then W will start to actually work. Okay, another thing that you need to understand when working on this W for geographical map, okay, you must have that information on the longitude and latitude. For example, you want to display a map of Malacca, you want to display a map of Malaysia. So make sure in your data set is being defined in terms of longitude and latitude. So therefore, it will be displayed in such a manner. Okay, so you can see here, okay, once you place, for example, you place on one of the data set. So this is a city called Kopix, and then it is in Russia. Okay, and if you look here, okay, you can see here Seremban, Malaysia. Okay, that is why, because I display city. But if I remove city, so I will not have the city in place. It's just merely a country. Okay, so when I place my mouse on any colors, okay, so it will indicate the country and then the every sales. And like I mentioned, if you want to see the label, so you just show the label and you have the label being displayed. Yeah. And there are other things as well. You can even log this, what we call, okay, for example, here, okay, you can just put it, you can just put it like this. So it's being kept. So that is the only one that you want to display. So that is how you actually maneuver yourself. Okay, change in between. Okay, so this is back to normal. Just a simple click. Okay, and then you can also explore. You have all these automatic function about chart, pie chart, and everything. And then you can change the size of your text, even the size of your text pun you boleh ubah. Okay, you go to label, and then you can just go to the text, and then these are the size, the colors, everything, the alignment. Okay, and then you can also mark the label according to the measurement, and then allow label to overlap other marks if you put these, so it can overlap. So this one, okay, it will not actually overlap because it only highlight those which is possible. But if you want it to be displayed, everything, so you just allow labels to overlap. So every point of the data on the map visualization will be displayed. But will be a little bit crowded compared to the major ones. Okay, so these are the major ones. All right. Okay, now we go to the dashboard. So you can actually work on your dashboard as well. Okay, so if you look here, you can see, okay, once it is ready, so you can just go to dashboard. Okay, can you see the menu here, dashboard?
Boleh doktor?
Okay, so you just click dashboard. Okay, so you will add a new dashboard, for example. Okay, so you add a new dashboard. Okay, and you see here, okay, you have this on your worksheet, and then this is your dashboard. So if you drag this, okay, can you see the menu here, dashboard, size, and sheet? Okay, this is the sheet that we worked just now, okay, on the world map. Okay, now this is the dashboard that we are going to use for reporting. So you just drag and drop. Voila. So it's ready. Okay, it's ready. So if you look here, so these are the size of the charts. Okay, and these are the average sales indicator, the legend. Okay, you can remove this if you want to see it. You can also remove this as well. Okay, but this is just the indicator, and then you can highlight selected items. Right, so those are the function of the dashboards. And if you have more charts, so you can actually, navigate yourself. You want it to be displayed horizontally, vertically, okay, and then text wise, image, okay, blank navigation. So that is the function of the dashboard, meaning that this is the raw output, the raw output. So, it's very hard to comprehend in terms of size and everything. But here on the dashboard, you have the exact chart that you want to be displayed. You want to be displayed. Okay, and then you can, you can do like almost anything. Okay, you can just work on the size itself. Okay, and then you want to be displayed on phone. Okay, the layout wise. Okay, so those are the dashboard function. Okay, any questions so far? Any question, guys?
No, doktor.
Okay.
Doktor
So
saya
you,
tanya.
huh?
Saya nak tanya nanti kan masa nak upload assignment tu nak save tu macam mana?
Okay, kejap saya tunjuk story. Let me show you the story. Okay, so once you just now the first part we work on the worksheet. This is the worksheet, right? Okay, and now this is the dashboard. Okay, so if you create a dashboard, you can, when you click this menu or this tab, you can see that almost all functions are being activated, and even the copy image function. Okay, so you can just click copy image or export if you want to be it to be displayed on your report. You want it to be you want to paste in your answer sheet. So you just do like that because it's different from Excel. Excel, you can just right click and then there will be a copy command, right? But this one, no. This one, you need to use the dashboard command. Okay. Did I answer that question just now?
Yes, Doctor.
All right. So now we go to the other section, which is called a story. Okay, a story, meaning that you want to actually display the chart with a story. So if you want to do that, you just go to the tab, okay, the story tab. You just click here and you create new story. Okay, new story. Now you see that once we start working from the worksheet to the dashboard, now you have two options. You can display the sheet, which is a raw chart, and you can also choose the dashboard. And the function is still the same. Yeah, okay, on how to work with Tableau is very simple. You just drag and drop, and you have this. Okay, okay, and then the chart is still editable actually. Okay, it's still editable. I mean that you can still edit the chart. Okay, you want to what? You want to crop. Okay, you want for example here. Okay, maybe you want this. Okay, so you can do almost like yeah. Uh, hold on. Okay, okay. So this is what we call the story. Okay, the storyboard. Okay, so this is back to normal. So now the explanation to this. Hold on. Okay. The best thing about this story is that you can actually put any explanation. Okay, so for example, uh, okay, so these are the things that I want it to be displayed. So you can type a lot of things. You can, almost put all the whole definition. Okay, and then once it's ready, so it's a matter of okay, copy image. The same thing. Sama dekat dashboard, you just copy image or export image. Okay, if you want to use the image. Okay, and then another function of Tableau is that you can just straightforward start with the presentation. So I'm going to just go with the presentation. See, this is in a presentation mode. So if I have more charts, so I have a long list of what we call slides in terms of visualization slides. Okay, so you can see here, this is in the presentation mode. Okay, so you can just go back to the sheet, you can just go back to the dashboard. Okay, just like you're using PowerPoint. So you can see here a bigger picture. Nampak tak?
Nampak, Doktor?
Cantik tak? How cantik oh. Okay, then you are back to your normal, and then you just kalau you need to save, then you save. Okay, for example, okay. For katalah I need to actually display another chart, for example. Okay, I want to maybe I want to look at the or maybe we choose like region. Okay, region, and maybe I want to look at the profit. Okay, so I want this to be and then region. I'm just going to actually select region, and then I put into color, so I'll have different colors. Maybe I want it to be in a pie chart. Okay, maybe this kind of chart, or maybe this type of charts. Okay, so I let us stick to this one. Okay, so I'm going to put it here, the color. Okay, maybe I need to actually look into the size because it's quite big. Okay. Okay, once it's ready, so I'm going to my dashboard. So I have sheet 2. So I'm going to actually pull in and place another sheet here. Okay, give some time for Tableau to actually process your request, okay, your instruction. And then when it is ready, okay, yeah, okay, so I have this. So my dashboard, right? Okay, so go to my story. So I have story 1 and I have story 2. Okay, this is story 1 just now, and this is story 2. Okay, and then I go to presentation mode. Okay, this is my first chart. Okay, and then this is my second chart. As easy as ABC. All right, guys. So I need you to really explore these because you can actually just try and error. Okay, don't worry so much. You can use your purchase order data and try to actually navigate yourself through Tableau. So basically, those are the things. Meaning that from the beginning, when we try to develop the chart, okay, based on the data and how you want to change the chart appearance in terms of colors, text size, and then maybe you want to filter the values, okay, in terms of sum, average, mean, max, okay, and then we also have standard deviation, we also have variance, so that one can be automatically compute, okay, using Tableau. Okay, like I said, the only setback is that it will not be able to actually display the computation process. Okay, and then we have already looked into the use of dashboard. We already looked into the use of story and how we can actually just from Tableau straightforward come out with the presentation. So those are the things about Tableau. So hopefully you will spend some time just to explore, and then remember the last part of your assignment. You should be able to actually exhibit your ability to use Tableau. Okay, so I'm gonna stop the presentation. So I guess I shared to you almost everything, every part of Tableau. Now it is in your hand to actually try to explore, okay, whatever the possibilities there are using Tableau as your visualization software. Okay, so if you have any issues with regard to user Tableau, please do let me know. Okay, I'll try my best to help you, to assist you. Okay, so that you'll be able to enjoy, okay, the experience of working on data visualization. Okay, guys.